Welcome to It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. What is it? It's everything. Everything you want in life starts with courage.
Forgive you for getting the title wrong.
Jen, how are you? You know, I look forward to seeing you.
I look forward to seeing you too. I love Tuesdays.
Yes, I do. Because I'm always like, I wonder what I'm going to leave feeling today. You know, like I always feel feeling either accomplished or I leave feeling inspired. Or I leave feeling like, yeah, you know what? Like, I can do this, whatever it is. I just feel like,
Yeah.
like
That's what we want our listeners to feel like, right?
Exactly.
So I feel like we're going to get a little vulnerable today.
Okay. Oh, we like a little vulnerability.
So we're going to talk about forgiveness.
Friends out there.
Forgiveness
is hard.
It is. It's really hard. Well, you know, some people, it's very easy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to say it's hard, but like, I think it's hard for a lot of people sometimes. There's some people, there was this one, I won't even discuss what they were, let's say.
Just in case you're listening.
Yeah, just in case they're listening. And I remember this person would always receive so much flack from like even mentors, from colleagues and people who pretty much just, I mean, they just weren't the best. So sometimes, you know, when you're not always performing your best, people don't always have the greatest attitudes with you. And one thing I always saw about this guy is I remember saying to other people is, this guy just has such an open heart. It doesn't matter what you say to him today. Tomorrow, he treats you no different.
That's hard.
Man, I mean, I'll if I can clap hands for you right now, mate, that's it right there.
Well, okay, so I'll just be completely honest that I think that I have a defense mechanism against people that I feel like have hurt me or done something. And so typically, like, my mindset about it has been like, when somebody is doing something that hurts you or behind your back or, you know, doesn't handle something properly, my thought has always been that's their true colors.
Yeah.
Like,
no second chances of Jen.
You've just shown me your true colors and you're cut. You're out. You're like,
she ain't lying.
yeah, you're out. Like, you don't get in the circle anymore. You don't get any of my time or energy. You're just done. Because
no second chances?
Not really. Ooh. No, pretty much like, and that's, you know, and I think that's a defense mechanism really from being like hurt over and over because you kind of you get what you let people do to you, right? Like,
yes.
You let it go, if you just keep accepting that they're always late and you never say something, then that they're always going to be late. Yeah. Or if they always cancel on you and you just accept that and you're good with it, then you're like non-verbally letting them know it's okay to treat you that way, you know? So I guess my non-verbal was like, I'm not hanging out with you anymore. I'm not answering your calls. You don't get any part of me anymore. And I feel like I've done that several times with people. And
do you regret it? Like, have you ever had a time where you've probably said to somebody, or, you know, basically, you're done. You know.
Well, I think that's where this is coming from, because and maybe it's a growth in me that's caused it, but like, I think initially it has to be that way for me because I have to have that separation.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm hurt enough by you to just not want to be around you or you part of anything, then you've hurt me pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I think there is probably that's a good thing, just, you know, at the at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
To give yourself some time and space to
Mm-hmm.
heal from it, and also to like reflect on it. But
I definitely think that's important.
Over the last few years, like I can look at some relationships that I've had that, maybe personally I've been able to cut them out of my life, but I see them in work,
with them. Mm-hmm.
Events or things like that. And it's like you walk in a room and you turn the corner and bam, there they are. Like it's like you have to face it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of looking back at these, kind of doing the same thing you did, not wanting to say any specific names or anything.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, just thinking like, man, if that situation, if they would have come to me and just said this or handled it a little differently, I think my reaction would have been a lot different, and we probably still would be friends. And so now, like, I don't know if it's something that I read or something that, I'm just growing, but, I'm looking back at some of these things, and maybe part of it is just time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a few years.
Yeah.
I'm in a much better place. They're probably in a much better place. Like, I'm not holding on. Now, I don't hold on to anger or anything like that. I'm not like constantly just angry at this person. It's like, okay, well, I'm just done with you.
Yeah.
I'm just moving on. But I kind of feel like I can't be the only one that.
No, I mean, I don't think you're the only one. I would say like one, I think it depends on the relationship. Okay. For example, it takes a lot for me to say, I'm not somebody who, I don't know how this will come across, but I'm not somebody who cares too much.
I can totally see that.
Yeah. I'm not somebody who cares too much. That is, I have relationships that really matter to me, but most times, chances are I really don't care. We have a relationship, we have great laughs, but you will know when I care. Most times I really don't care. So I tend to find it takes a lot for me to really actually be fed up and be pissed off with somebody.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm like, I'm done. I can't be bothered. I think you're definitely right in it teaches you something. If I'm really, really hurt, I think I'm probably like you. I don't say anything. I don't say anything to that person. And I also find I may not always change how I treat you, but I completely have a shield around myself.
Yes.
You will really never know. There's really no in. And for me, once that's done, that's done. There can never be going back. And I think now when it comes to like, let's say relationships, dating, I am a radio silence kind of person. At that point, like I think I remember I had I was dating a guy once upon a time, and I'm all right person. I'm not I would like to date me. But like, when someone just really mistreats you, and I'm one of those people, if you've done something wrong, I don't say anything in that moment. Number one, I may just be like, you know what? It may genuinely have just been a mistake. I wait for you to form a pattern. Once you've formed your pattern, I'm that kind of person that will really think things through, and I will think about it in my head. I'm not going to tell you that.
So you're telling us that we really never know what you're thinking.
Basically, like I will never react. I'll never shout at anyone. I'll never say, "Oh, you really did it." But in that, when I was dating this guy, once I'm done, I'm done. That text message from me is done. That is done. Especially if it was something that ended badly. You will never find me. It does not matter how many apologies. Zero. Right. Now, there's some relationship where somebody may say, oh, this is what happened. And I'm understanding. But for me, at that point, once that war is gone, it's gone. And over the years, yeah, sometimes, of course, there's forgiveness. One important thing, one of my brothers once said to me, obviously my mom passed away when I was very young. And my brother, who I follow, number 7, once said to me, never hold a grudge.
Mm-hmm.
You never hold a grudge because, I don't know if you heard the saying, holding a grudge or hating somebody, not forgiving somebody is like drinking poison, expecting that it's going to kill them. It really does nothing to them but destroy you.
Right.
So I never, even though I may never have any interest to, let's say if it was somebody you dated and ended really badly, I never have any interest to explore that, but it doesn't mean I'm holding anything in my heart.
Against them.
Yeah. And in terms of friendships, I will always be nice to someone. It doesn't matter who they are. That's just my nature. That's just how I was brought up, to treat people with kindness. I will never be unkind. I think there's forgiveness, but once you forgive people, there is some truth in what you said, that it shows you the true colors of a person. Does it mean that they can't change? Of course, people can change over time, but for me, it just depends on, in the Japanese, was it a Japanese saying where it's almost like you break a plate, even if you stick it back,
it's never the same.
It's never the same.
Yeah.
Unless you paint it with gold.
Yeah. And I guess I'm just saying that there's, if you have any of what I have, like just where I cut people out, just to revisit that incident, what caused that, and is it something that, maybe they weren't mature enough or strong enough to handle with courage. Maybe it was like, I'll use this example. I had a friend, a past client of mine that lived near me, and she was always asking me questions.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can you help me do this in real estate? Or what should I paint my this? Or what should I, change this out to? Or
she valued your opinion.
Yeah. She valued my opinion until I came home from vacation one day and there was somebody else's for sale sign in their yard. And like, I was just so devastated. And, I was trying to like understand, but I really just was like, I've put in all this time and you've used me for all of these things.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go and it would have been so different if she would have called me and said, hey, I know I use you to buy this house, but the agent I typically use is this, and they found me this other house. And so I really feel obligated to go list with them. My house with you, but like, I'm still going to refer you business. I still love you. I still value your opinion on things. Like, having the conversation would have totally changed how I reacted to the situation. But just to come driving in and see somebody else's sign with no, like, I felt used, I felt kind of betrayed, like all of that. So, and that's what I'm saying is like, and that's somebody that, I don't follow anymore. I don't talk to anymore. And that, that was probably not the best way to handle it for me, but maybe they didn't
know how to handle it.
They didn't know how to handle it. And so now there's like a relationship there that we still could be friends.
Yeah.
If it would have just, for me, if there was just a conversation.
Yeah.
But there was not enough courage on the other side to have the conversation. So it was handled poorly. So
I have a question though. Even though there wasn't enough courage on the other side, was there courage on your side to say how you felt?
No.
So you didn't give them a chance. I mean, I 100% see where you're coming from in terms of the betrayal, in terms of
I was just
everything.
Pissed. So, this is what I'm telling you. I'm like,
And I think sometimes like in moments like that, which is why for me, I think I'm always like, don't take it off of the first one. It's always after a pattern's established, because maybe at the time they didn't, because she bought that current house that she's in with you, but before that she had somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe since she had left that other agent before and gone to you, she at the time maybe didn't even see that there was an issue, because she's done this before. So it may take somebody saying, hey, by the way, that wasn't cool. Maybe she still doesn't know. And you spent time being pissed at somebody who has no idea what you're pissed at. She's like, well, that's a bit crazy, isn't she? No, you're not crazy.
And that's the thing. It's like to have courage on both sides of that. And I guess like starts with courage, right? Like, do you have the courage to just maybe say when you're hurt in a situation and say like, you handled this way. I feel like you could have handled that differently.
Yeah.
This is how it's made me feel. And I'm going to need a little break right now. And hopefully we can be friends down the road, but like this and make them see like how you're feeling.
Yeah.
But I think time helps. It helps clear your vision. It helps kind of get past the hurt in the situation. And it also helps to give you like a reflection of, it's kind of like when you're in the moment.
You know, can I tell you, there's something my oldest sister used
Number
to say.
13.
Yeah, this is number 1. And she used to say, it's quite interesting. A lot of the things that I know about my parents come from my siblings telling me things. And my sister used to say, my mom told her once, you never discipline a child when you're angry. And I think for me, that's something I usually take when it comes to dealing with my relationships with people. You never address a situation when you're angry.
24-hour rule.
Yeah, because at that time, you need time to settle down, to really think it through, you know, and it may take a couple of years, maybe, but
Yep.
And this could be that time to address it now and say, you've clearly reflected on it, and thought about it. And
I think there's a chance to give people another chance. Will it ever be the exact same? No, it won't. But doesn't mean that you have to be in a room with them and just act like you don't see them and not,
I think that would end up taking a toll on you as a person trying to avoid them.
Yeah.
Forgiveness.
Thanks for listening to this episode of It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. If you like this episode of the podcast, visit our website, iswcpodcast.com, for show notes and other cool things.